New players, old players, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know without a lengthy video about this patch. Most events start Thursday. Hyperlink Gala, you're getting a lot of rewards including lattice, shadowprint, crystals, enhanced prototypes, but you're also getting a selector SSR LD unit. It does not include Yelly or Plume. These are the 7 units you can get. I'm probably going Doki Doki or Lilium, but I'm probably going to end up going Doki Doki because there is also a Yelly banner. You can also purchase a new Yelly skin. They're starting to add skins, they need to add more. And I'm going to try to pull for Yelly. If I am able to pull Yelly, I personally don't need Lilium, that's my opinion. Plus I'm an AoE speed cleave kind of player. Old players that quit the game, there is a return event coming for you. Now is the time to return. You're going to be getting lattice, crystals, a random free SSR, and you have a targeted SSR Animus banner too. Plus you get double drops for the first 1,000 stability used in Thresholds, Grim Pursuit. New RTA rewards for rank, and there's also a new free RTA battle pass. There's also going to be RTA rewards added to Hyperlink Charter, which is nice. There's going to be a new Stellar shop, which might have RTA currency. It's supposed to be for cosmetic items. There's a lot of different little minor things as well, but the one thing I do want to point out, they're adding reconfig chips to the Etheria shop. RTA season is done, so that means balance changes. Huge meta change is about to happen. Hellkit is getting more damage and more shield on his 3rd skill. He's also getting a new feature for his shield, is when the shield expires, your team gets a 15% turn meter. If this works when the enemy dispels your shield, that actually might be pretty good. In the patch notes it said expires, so to me that's like if it falls off naturally. Rosa's Bladeheart Bloom is now going to be guaranteed to land on a target that does not have it. The Tsukio Mii's 2nd skill now reduces her own cooldown. Jason Bourne is getting a buff. More damage on his basic attack and 100% healing of the damage dealt. Also his 3rd skill damage is going to increase and it's going to dispel 2 buffs. We may see Zayada in the meta. Her passive Soul Flames is now going to increase her effect resistance and the damage taken reduction. At 3 stacks, it's going to be 45% reduction. You add that along with Bloodbath, that might be pretty crazy and hard to kill. We'll see what happens. 2 changes to Naor. One is his 2nd skill is now going to freeze. So it's going to strip all of the buffs from the enemy and then freeze them. Not only that, but his 3rd skill, the AoE defense and freeze, it's going to have a 2-hit. This is huge because it has a better chance to land the defense down and the freeze. They are also adding resistance down as a debuff, so it's 3 debuffs. I bring that up, it's important later. Another change I'm excited with is Nymphenil. Her 2nd skill is now going to cleanse 2 debuffs from your whole team. This makes Nymphenil really like the first hero besides like Dorothy the Wisher. Yeah, there's Ling Lu, which is like kind of random half the time, but this is pretty huge for Nymphenil. Lilith's going to be putting out a little bit more damage to the main target she selects. She's already an HP based CC goddess, but now she's going to be 25% damage of the target's max HP. That's the main target she selects. You thought Born was going to be my favorite part of this patch. It's not. CELINCE is my favorite part of this patch. Her passive is now going to apply a 30% HP Aqua Shield at the start of the battle. This is going to be the biggest change to the meta, mark my words. Very common change with Plume being added into the game is all the Freya Bulwark speed cleave teams we have. Now that we have CELINCE, who's going to apply a buff to your team at the beginning of the battle, we're going to have Bulwark and Aqua Shield buffing your turn meter when you have Freya in your team. On her 3rd skill, the attack down is actually going to apply crit rate down. I'm okay with this because attack down is only good against obvious attack based users. Crit rate down will help both fighting against attack-based and defensive bruiser-based. And if they don't crit, it's going to be harder to get through CELINCE's shield. And if you put CELINCE on Revelation, she hits the enemies 4 times on a 3-turn cooldown, which matches up with Revelation perfect. Watch out for CELINCE. Oyan, skill 3, is going to get a damage boost. Yellie's getting a damage increase to her basic attack, and her steal is going to 50%. SSR changed to Tumo's getting a base stat buff. Victor might be back, especially for PvE. His damage increase is now going up to 12% per HP loss. Nell is getting her base speed increased. Fire Rin's taunt is going to 100% chance. Rin the Unbowed second skill is getting a damage boost. Kazami's skill 3 is getting an accuracy buff for 3 turns. This will help in PvE. Kaz the Rev is getting a nerf. This is probably the most controversial thing about this patch. Her basic attack sleep is going down to a 1-turn sleep, which is respectable in my opinion, and the turn meter reduction from her passive is going down to 10%. In my opinion, not really effective, but again, there's some shell changes and might get to something later. RC77 massive buff to the 3rd skill, and it's only massive because it's now going to be a 3-turn cooldown. This matches up with Revelation perfectly, and you're going to see a lot of him in my upcoming SR only tournament cash prize, $250. More to come on that. Huge changes in shells. Alicorn is now going to cleanse 3 debuffs. Remember Nahor and pretty much a lot of different CC units. We're going to see a lot of Alicorn. This is going to affect a lot of CC comps, for example. This may help bruiser comps for Sania or Linglo, but again, that forces them to use Alicorn, and hey, you may know that. We really need a unit that like ignores shell passives or applies a debuff that turns the shells off. That would be pretty sweet. Let's change that for CELINCE Forgetfulness too and really make her meta. White Fang, still a PvE shell, however, this is going down to 8 stacks, so this percentage is going up, so it's going to be quicker to get to max stacks for White Fang. Halloween is going to 100% chance to reduce the cooldown of random skills. Hallelujah, no more RNG. And the last change, really the second controversial change in this patch, is Codex of Magic. There's a PvP nerf per se, but it's respectable in my opinion. So for Codex of Magic, for whatever skill is not reset by Codex of Magic, that specific skill's cooldown is going to increase by 1 permanently. So for example, if you use Obel's 3rd skill, the AoE stun, this skill will reset on Codex of Magic. However, the 2nd skill, the AoE Dispel, it'll now turn to a 5-turn cooldown. And honestly, in my opinion, I don't think it matters. For one, when you're using Codex of Magic, it's practically for like Speedly 1st turn. So you use his 3rd skill and then you use it again at the next turn. That's what it's meant for. It would really shine more on a person like Hazuki Mari, where you can use this back to back and she doesn't have another skill to lower the cooldown. So it makes that Codex of Magic nerf not even existent. There's so many people overreacting once again every time words are put on the screen by XD. Stop overreacting. This is a W patch. And that's all you need to know about the patch. The more you know.